Reed, queued up, buddy.
Yep.
You're gonna show us a date element.
Mm-hmm.
Good, because then that means I didn't have to make it. So it's a huge win.
All right. So it's a data element. I haven't worked on the. I'm having some confusion with the HAX wiring, but I think I'm getting past it. This is something that I read, but
Yeah, you
the
can delete that.
HAX
We need to
wiring.
update the docs.
Yeah, I realized that when I could not find any components that had it.
So when we originally made them, there was a dependency you needed, and you had to import it in order to leverage it. And then, based on feedback from some people, I was able to refactor it so that there's no dependency. So yeah, some older stuff in docs will still point to it, unfortunately.
But yeah, here. It is it creates these data objects, and there's some CSS stumbling that I'm having, just because I am not super well versed in all the uses and the all that stuff. But and this is on purpose, all this. But these all this is a 100 size margin, just to test the margin. But they all have a nice little shadow when you mouse over the main part, and they've got, if you actually include a title, which is this section, then you actually get your details pane. Otherwise, it's completely empty. So I've got just all those in here. These are just randomly including and not including these separate areas. Oops. So they include, bring that over. Some of them include the day, some of them don't, and that just changes whether it renders or not. And this is just an experiment for me, just to figure out how to dynamically render these sort of things. And that all comes out of these statements where I am checking whether or not it even exists. And it's just simply, if you don't include it, then it does not show up. Which I guess is easier. And you mentioned that I have this simple colors, or I'm using simple colors. I'm still not quite clear on how simple colors works, so I'm just having not even like a theme or anything. I just like choose blue in the CSS. But now that I saw what you presented, I think that I might understand this better on how to use it. But all the colors are coming out of simple colors.
Yeah, if you just if you switch that word blue to accent, then as long as you're extending that class, you'll have the accent color and dark properties that you can switch.
And then I would have to declare my accent type, or
the default is gray, unless in your constructor you could put this dot accent color equals blue, so that if they don't specify, they'll get blue.
Okay, yeah. After Brian's presentation, I think I had most of the understanding of how it worked, but that bridged the gap actually for that. But right now it's just not good. Just typed blue and gray in there, but I will change that once this is all over. But actually, before I was thinking like, oh, maybe I could just do like the return HTML and then a plus, and then have something. I had a function up here that was just a constant that was being returned, and it was an HTML type, but lit element does not appreciate that happening. It was just. Oh, sorry.
Where's the nth? Do you have an nth function somewhere?
That's it's just checking for the date. It returns the suffix.
But
yeah,
nice.
I stole most of the logic, but the person on Stack Overflow was like, "Oh, this would be a good exercise. So here's most of the code to whoever asked the question about creating something like that." So,
Well, yeah, you could either, and then you could, I mean, it wouldn't make a ton of sense to export it from here, but nth is a perfect example of how lazy certain JavaScript developers are, because someone somewhere probably has nth as a npm package, and they're importing nth just to get that function. But
yeah.
creating dependency trees, that's how you end up with like the left pad debacle. And that actually happened again recently. Someone had some like 2-line function that everybody used, and they published it wrong, and it broke hundreds of thousands of projects.
There's a camel sick of Bob one that's literally just the regex.
Yeah, the IST Ice Cream Social, just it was, I don't know, I guess a good experience with working with this. I would like to sort of have a drop shot on this as well, but this is my first time using span, actually, so just getting through some of the kinks of like how there's that empty space since it's right next to this, but this is just made out of a div, so it's just sort of creating that empty spot. But yeah, I just need to mess with it until I understand how it actually works. Also, just having the right width, like a consistent width between these items, is definitely something that I should do. But yeah, it's all
Nice.
all that was, I think.
Well, and then you could abstract so that div area where it says class equals card, right? That could be abstracted as like, Monopoly card or whatever. I commonly see those called Monopoly cards. So like Monopoly card or something like that, right? That it's its own little thing, and you happen to be using it to display dates in this case. And then the other section, I don't know what that'd be called, but that could be another element as well. It's not as critical, obviously, in that case.
Yeah, I kind of want to steal Monopoly card. So you should break it out.
You're welcome to make a Monopoly card, Nikki. No one's stopping you.
But where's the learning experience for Reed?
Yes, well, Reed is going to graduate here soon, so
Yes.
Yeah, but he'll miss
in
us,
one
and he'll
day.
miss working with us.
so he'll just keep doing work for free.
Yeah,
I was thinking about
we
it.
all do. I mean, technically.
I mean, any work I'm doing from here on out until I get a job is free work.
There you go. Well, you're welcome to do it. We can keep checking back in and offering suggestions on it. I mean, you might be like, oh, it doesn't look that good because CSS or whatever, but I mean, I didn't make any web components in college, so
This is how you learn this stuff.
Yeah.
There's a ton of stuff I made that, it's not exactly what it would be now, but like it got me to where I am now. And until you do it, you won't figure out, how to do it.
Yeah.
But I want the Monopoly card.
Okay.
It'll be good for you for exposure.
Monopoly card. He's gonna Google like, what's Monopoly?
Who is Monopoly?
Yeah, there was some good.
Oh yeah.
See,
It's been a while.
little like fact sheet type of thing, color swath.
It looks like Monopoly uses simple colors.
I think Monopoly does use simple color. That would be a good. I mean, incredibly simple, but like that's the stuff that's really effective.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess I could like turn this into something else. I'm not actually sure. I can't think of anything that this could be used for, but right now it's very specifically this.month, this.date, this.day. So
Break it out to
Yeah.
header and content, really.
Yeah.
And then when you use it within your date card, then when you use it, you just, plug in your date card somewhere, and then you can put in the header the this.month, and in the content put the this.day.
Yeah. Huh. All right.
Cool. It's looking good, man. We'll have
Yeah,
to
nice.
maybe what we'll do is if you do the simple colors work or try to implement that, then I will make just like a placeholder part in the mono repo, just so you don't have to get all the tooling set up. I know you've had issues with that on your computer.
Yeah.
Make a placeholder part in the LRN Web Components repo that has the same name, the date card or whatever, and then that way you could clone the repo and just basically dump your card into it that you've already made, and then get it accepted easily. Because I mean, looks good to me. I mean, obviously we make some tweaks, CSS wise, and do some of that cleanup for color variability. But
You sure you want to graduate? You don't want to stay here with us forever?
I'm
Like
good to
Tom?
graduate.
Tom stayed forever. You don't want to stay forever and make things?
Well, I mean, I graduated, but then I got a job at the university I graduated from. So...
Because you love us. And I don't
Oh.
know if Reed loves us enough to want to stay forever.
oh, we're going there.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I'm good at using the mom guilt.
I'm okay to graduate.